All right, this is Mike Cosper with the SojournMusic.com podcast. I had to run across the room and get my questions. And today we are here with Kevin Twit as part of our 5-question series. So, Kevin, the first question is tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, Kevin Twit. I'm a pastor in the Presbyterian Church in America. I work with our college ministry, Reformed University Fellowship. For the last 15 years, I've been doing that work at Belmont University in Nashville. For a while, I was also simultaneously on the staff of Christ Community Church. And out of my pastoral work has also become a movement called Indelible Grace Music, where we've taken old hymns, set them to new music. We do a lot of that music in RUF, and I've made 6 CDs with them, produced those CDs, written a number of hymns, texts set to new music, so kind of do all those things.
Great. Describe for us, many of our viewers, our readers, they're going to be familiar with Indelible Grace, and so describe for us when you do when you're planning a service for your church,
Okay.
or when you're planning a service for RUF. Those may be similar, may be different. Describe those for us, and describe what goes into your mind as you process that, as you plan and pick songs.
I don't usually get to set out all the architecture of a service. At the church I attend, I work sort of as a home missionary for a group of churches. So the church I attend, I'll help out with worship maybe once a month. And my role then is to pick the songs and to lead the singing aspect, but not necessarily the liturgy. And the liturgy is pretty set, kind of like what you all do at Sojourn. Mm-hmm. So what I think about is trying to tie in with the theme of the sermon, and then also making sure that Christ and his cross is lifted up and the gospel is clear. I definitely think about how the songs we sing are forming and shaping people over the long haul. That's very much an interest of mine. I think that way in RUF too. When I do in RUF, we'll tend to do maybe a call to worship, a couple songs, announcements, then a couple more songs. So there I'm depending more on the songs themselves to offer a flow of worship and a gospel presentation. So I really think about the songs almost like I would set up a sermon. What kind of, here's who God is, we see our sin, we confess, we preach the gospel to ourselves. I try and do that with the songs because we don't have the other liturgical elements going on then.
That's great. What are the criteria you're looking for when you pick a song? What makes a song for you? What breaks a song for you once you throw it out?
There's probably a lot of implicit things that I don't think about. I mean, first and foremost, the words. To me, the music is always secondary. It serves the words. I want the music to serve it well. And I don't want it to be cheesy, but I know there's a lot of cultural assumptions about that, but I definitely think in those terms. I want songs that lift up Christ, that speak the gospel, that do battle with our idols by holding up Jesus as more beautiful and believable than these other things that vie for our affection. And I think of worship as spiritual warfare in that way. I mean, I'm going to get into this talk I'm going to do later. There's lots of things I could say about this, but I mostly think about displaying Christ. Jeff Packer said years ago in an essay, Intro to the Death of Death, that the preacher's job is to display Christ. And I think I approach it very much like a pastor and a preacher, trying to do with the songs that same thing. I think a hymn should have a great opening line. It should grab us right away. James Montgomery, the great hymn writer, said one time that a good hymn will have a combination of being instantly accessible. You understand what it means when you sing it the first time, but yet there's depth enough that it repays singing it again. And that's a really hard thing to pull off, but I look for that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's helpful. How do you respond when people either in RUF or in the congregation, how do you respond to complaints like, I didn't like that song, I didn't like that sound, I didn't know why you do that?
My favorite response to that question was one I heard Marva Dawn give, where she said that if our church really reflects the diversity that it should, that everybody should expect to sing songs they don't like. So ultimately I think there's a spiritual maturity issue. I want people to get beyond, I want to distinguish between I didn't like that or we shouldn't have done that and here's why. And then I want to think in terms of, I'm not out to deconstruct church music. I've gotten more complaints, I guess, about setting some old favorite text to new music. And I always just tell people, we're not out to deconstruct church music. We wanted this text to be sung. In some cases, I didn't even know there was a tune that people loved because I discovered the hymn through an old hymn book that didn't have any music. I grew up in a church not singing a lot of hymns, at least ones that were familiar to people. And
then the last question, tell us your thoughts on Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Oh, I just got Guitar Hero Van Halen. Have you played that one yet?
I haven't.
Oh, it's
No.
awesome. Oh, I like it. My kids, my little kids and I, we play it. You know, I've got a 9-year-old and 7-year-old, and my 9-year-old loves Guitar Hero. We play it all the time. I'm trying to. I still don't know if it'll help him ultimately learn to play guitar or if
Right.
it'll be a barrier. I definitely think the drums from my 7-year-old has helped him develop some independence of motion and dexterity, and he's taking drum lessons now. So I don't know. I think I really enjoy it. We love doing it. It's great to hear see my 7-year-old like doing knee drops, singing Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf with all his might. I mean, that's just such a beautiful moment.
That's
that
awesome.
if I'd spend hundreds of dollars for the game just to experience that regularly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us.
All right.